Yeah, it's Friday, y'all, and guess what that means? That means Baldy is a happy, happy boy. But guess what? We've got some rain on the way. Could that interrupt some of your plans this weekend? Let's talk about it in this super duper awesome blossom. Hey, I'm super caffeinated edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. Yes, sir, Bob. It is a Friday edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. It's July 25th, 2025. Want to take this opportunity in my caffeinated state to say thank you for joining us and taking time out of your day to watch what could be a disaster of a YouTube video. Maybe it'll be one of my best. Who knows? But it's July, and typically all I get to talk about this time of year is heat and occasionally fires. But not today, because it's the year where Summer of Hell apparently is taking a bit of a break in terms of heat. Unfortunately, I guess Summer of Hell number 1 for flooding. But yeah. We'll name them all after summer's over. How about that? Let's get into it with the high-res rapid refresh. Simulated weather radar going into this afternoon tonight. Guess what? It's gonna rain. This model being pretty ambitious and aggressive with the possibility of scattered to numerous showers and a few thunderstorms across southeast Texas, the Texas Gulf Coast, into the coastal bend, the Brazos Valley. It even brings a few showers this afternoon and evening into central Texas, north Texas. We'll see. It's not particularly heavy with those showers, but, well, it does bring some of those storms as far west as Austin, Waco, even San Antonio this evening. Houston, multiple rounds of showers and storms possible this afternoon into tonight. You can see for tomorrow it actually does the same thing. The possibility of scattered showers and storms southeastern half of the state now. Doesn't mean it's going to be a washout where you are, with the exception of the Gulf Coast. It may be a washout for y'all later today and tomorrow, but locally heavy rainfall will be possible. Under the heaviest storms, we could get maybe 2 inches of rain in an hour, but the good news is these are actually going to be mostly moving off to the northwest at about 10 to 20 miles per hour, so they shouldn't sit in any one location very long. You're probably asking, well, Mr. Baldy Man, who's had too much caffeine, cheers. Why are we dealing with this in late July? It's normally dry and, hot and, birdy. Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's take a look at this. This is the tropical weather outlook from the National Hurricane Center. You see that little yellow lemon area of doom in the northwestern Gulf that has a low probability of becoming a named system? Well, that is a weak tropical disturbance that has been moving west across the northern Gulf over the last few days. And what that essentially contains is a bubble of increased moisture. And as that's moving into Texas, that's why we're getting some rain chances. Now, in terms of other sensible impacts that you'd see from a more developed tropical system, like a storm surge, damaging winds, spinny dooms, not expected to be an issue, but localized heavy rain, and maybe some instances of urban and street flooding, stuff like that, some rises on creeks and streams, especially along the Gulf Coast, will be possible today and tomorrow. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of day where I get to say, when thunder roars, get your butt indoors. Please and thank you. So, western half of the state, guess what? Less active today. After an active week, y'all get a break today with mostly sunny skies and maybe isolated showers and storms, especially Saturday afternoon, evening, but far less coverage than the last several days. All right, beyond that, let's actually switch over to the thing we're typically talking about this time of year as we're in the summer, and that's fire danger. Well, not too much right now, thankfully. Low to moderate fire danger from the Texas A&M Forest Service forecast over the next several days across Texas, with a smidgen of uptick in the threat heading into the weekend across the Permian Basin, the Guadalupe Mountains, the Trans-Pecos, into parts of the Big Bend. But overall, we're not seeing any spaghetti-o scary colors of doom showing up on this map at the moment, which is always nice to see because, well, eventually we will once again. Just like all droughts usually end in floods around these parts, well, the opposite holds true. Once you get a flood, eventually we're going to dry out and all the new grass and surface vegetation and all that will dry out and we'll have a bad wildfire season, eventually. So, here is the look at the upper air pattern, the 500 millibar heights from the European weather model over the next week. This is around 18,500 feet above sea level. This is a good way in the summer months to see where kind of that jet stream's located. I'll give you a hint. It's way north of us, up in the Pacific Northwest, the Canadian prairies, and northern plains. And for our sensible forecast in the summer, where is the heat dome, or those highest heights? And, well, as you can see, heading into the weekend, it's going to be setting up shop right over us, especially parts of the southeastern United States, eastern parts of the state. You can see that little weakness today and tomorrow. That's allowing that little tropical disturbance to move west along the Gulf Coast. We see the heights rise heading into Sunday and Monday. That's when the hottest weather, rain chances diminish. And then going into next week, you can see we kind of have another weakness develop in that. If it were to materialize, we'll see. We might have another one of these little weak tropical systems across the Gulf move west, and, well, if some data is correct, we might get another round of rain, potentially heading into the second half of next week, perhaps. Now that I gave it away, let's just see what that looks like visually off the Long Range American Weather Model, the Global Forecast System. And look, by Sunday and Monday, you can see this thing's mostly dry across the state of Texas. Still some residual cloud cover, but that'll be mostly upper-level clouds. You can see isolated pop-up showers. Sunday afternoon, Monday afternoon, across parts of the state, out into the borderland of far west Texas. Now, going into Tuesday, especially Wednesday and Thursday, take a look on the right side of your screen. Guess what? The little precipitation blobs of nonsense begin to return, indicating an uptick in moisture and starting to see some decrease in that area of high pressure. And then as we get into Wednesday and Thursday, you can see this model specifically, and this is this model specific thing, tries to develop another one of these little tropical disturbances in the northern Gulf with rain and moisture, and then moves it west into Texas, like the one we're dealing with now. We've been doing this about once a week now. This is the second one. The one next week would be number 3. Again, this doesn't develop it into a tropical, like a hurricane, anything like that. It's just a disturbance that sneaks in under that upper level ridge, is able to kind of push west and bring rain chances. But the European weather model's not really showing that right now. So this is one of these, hey, if it happens, we're going to see another chance of rain across southeastern parts of the state heading into Thursday and Friday of next week. If it doesn't happen, well, drier than a popcorn fart, hot, all that stuff I typically get to say in the summer months, but I haven't gotten to yet this year because, 2025 is not acting like our typical summers of this decade so far. High temperatures over the next several days. Guess what? Today, it's hot. We're looking at triple digits DFW, northwest Texas, the big country, down into the Permian Basin, all the way down to the Rio Grande Plains, the Edwards Plateau. 98 in El Paso, only 89 in Amarillo. Y'all got flooded overnight. Well, I guess that's going to make your rivers and lakes go up even more. 101 Abilene and Wichita Falls, we're looking at about 100 DFW, 98 Texarkana, 97 Longview, Marshall, about 99 to 98. San Antonio, Waco, Austin, 103 in Laredo, 94 in Houston, and more humid than I think any of us care to have. Tomorrow, cooler southeastern half of the state in the sense that temperatures will be in the low 90s, but the humidity will be atrocious, so it's still going to feel like, well, you're in the Gulf. Northwestern half of the state with lower rain chances, less cloud cover, triple digits for you. Congratulations, Merry Christmas, woohoo! Heading into Sunday, guess what? Upper 90s for most of the state, maybe a few triple digits, still around seasonable for this time of the year. Heading into Monday, a degree or 2 warmer. Triple digits returning to North Texas, Northwest Texas, South Texas. And then on Tuesday, guess what? It's hot. It's hot. It's really, really hot. But at least it's not 100. Hit 10. There you go. There's your song for the day. Merry Christmas. And then finally, ladies and gentlemen, the long-range temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. July 30th through the 3rd of August. Still looking warmer than average here with that heat dome set up over the southern United States. Looking a little cooler across the Great Lakes, northeastern United States. There's actually some pretty good indications of a strong cool front setting up there. As we go into the first week of August, we'll see if that's able to push south at all and bring us any relief. I doubt it, but if not, I guess we can all go to the Appalachians and pretend it's fall for a couple days. Precipitation outlook otherwise, guess what? Now, this is nice to see in the sense that, well, it's not going to be dry on a popcorn fart for long if we are dry, but we'll have to keep an eye out for some scattered showers and storms as well. And of course, this time of year, when you see something like that, we always have to keep an eye on the tropics, but thankfully, so far, we are not dealing with any indications of tropical mischief in our part of the world yet. This is this is a pretty dangerous pattern, honestly. If something were to develop, we'd be in the bullseye. So we'll keep a close eye on it, but there's nothing that's screaming, uh-oh, SpaghettiOs yet, which is always good as we begin to enter the busier portions of the hurricane season. Remember last year we had a pretty quiet start to the season. We were like, what the heck's going on? Then suddenly we went holy moly guacamole for like 6 weeks. That's why we're not really saying too much yet, because we'll see what happens. But it's time to give a shout out here to our Spinny Doomer members here on the Texas Weather Center. And for what it's worth, we're going to be doing a live member meet and greet again a week from today. That is going to be Friday, the 1st of August. Check back on the YouTube page for a specific time, but we are going to get that on the books. So thank you to Amy Yu, Anthony R. Pelosi Jr., Candy P., Christina West, Deanna, Donald Yellett, J.A., Jeremiah Wisdom, Justin S., Love Live Laugh, Manda Cakes, Mandy Kim, Mike Rich, Nancy Rosenberg, Knight Davis, North Texas Weather, Paranoid Pocho, r/Tornado Chats, who happens to be one of our amazing moderators, Rascal ZX2, Ryan Tucker, S00 Petite, Sarah Schmidt, Tanya McGee, and Wendy Hall. Thanks for being Spinny Doomers, y'all, here in the Texas Weather Center, and we definitely appreciate all of you who have taken the time not only to click the subscribe button, which is free, by the way, hint, hint, but to become members here and help us out as well. All right, that's it. We are done. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll keep an eye out on the golf, and until Monday, y'all have an amazing day. Have an amazing weekend. When thunder roars, go indoors. Please don't become electrocuted, and please don't drive in the floodwaters either. That's it. I'm done. More caffeine for me. Thanks for watching. Hee hee hee. God bless.